Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cartoons, and today I'm going to be walking you through the 5 things that you should know about Frost Mages whenever you step into Warlords of Draenor for the first time. Number 5. Fire Blast has been removed from the game, and, you know, people might not think that this is actually a problem, but in terms of mage spells, Fire Blast was actually very useful because in certain situations there would be a spell reflect. And when there's a spell reflect, you have to have an ability that is, you know, that you could use to get off of the target. So, if there's this warrior in front of me, right, and I'm trying, and he has a spell reflect up, so if I start casting a frostbolt, and then he spell reflects, the only thing I can use to get off is that frostbolt, or I can use an ice lance, which, in most cases, if there's any warrior that actually knows how to play the game, they're not going to spell reflect randomly, they're going to spell reflect whenever you have Fingers of Frost procs. And this is a problem because you don't have a Fire Blast to get that spell reflect buff off of them. The only thing you can do is frostbolt, ice lance, Frost Bomb, which actually isn't a bad idea, and then you could also use Counterspell if you don't need to use it in like Arena or for a healer or something like that. You can actually just use Counterspell, so we're going to try it one more time. If I can get him to Spell Reflect, and then you can actually just Counterspell yourself, and it says it doesn't blink and silence anymore, it actually is just fine to use Counterspell, but that's only in a 1 versus 1 situation. You don't want to use that if there's a healer around. Number 4 is that Ice Block now heals with a special glyph called Glyph of Regeneration, and this is actually, or Glyph of Regenerative Ice, this is actually the best glyph in the game in my opinion, because whenever you Ice Block, if you sit in Ice Block, you get 4% of your health back every 1 second that you are in Ice Block. So if I sit in Ice Block for 10 seconds, I'm going to get 40% of my health back, which is awesome because one thing that Mages lacked a lot in previous expansions was a self-healing ability, and then they gave him Cold Snap to heal, but now they've given Ice Block and Cold Snap so you can heal back whenever you'd like, which really helps the sustain of Frost Mages, especially if your healer CC'd in Arena. And to demonstrate, I'm going to go ahead and fly way up in the air, drop myself down to get a bit of lower health, and then I'm just going to Ice Block, and as you can see, my health just goes back to full over time. 9,936 health per second, and then over the duration of the Ice Block, it just pretty much brings you back up 40% health. Number 3. Living Bomb and Nether Tempest was removed for Frost Mages, and now you are only left with Frost Bomb and a couple other talents that don't compare to Frost Bomb. So Frost Bomb is changed completely differently now, so basically whenever you have a Ice Lance proc that you can use into a target that counts as a frozen target, and you use it on this target that you're hitting, it will deal an extra amount of damage. A Frost Bomb will explode, and it can explode multiple times over 12 seconds. And you can actually reapply it at any time. There's no cooldown on Frost Bomb anymore. It's a 1.38 second cast. It's a pretty good ability. Take it whenever you get into Warlords. Number 2. Alter Time was completely changed and nerfed for the worse, which is okay, because Alter Time was actually one of the best abilities of the game. Alter Time, what it used to do is that it would take all of your procs, you could use all your procs with Alter Time up, and then Alter Time back with all of your procs back, your Brain Freeze, your Fingers of Frost procs, your Trinket procs, whatever you'd like, your Icy Veins. But now you can no longer do that. So Alter Time, I have an example for you here, is whenever you use Alter Time, it lasts for 10 seconds on you, and it only resumes your health and location. So it doesn't do anything else, but it also lasts 10 seconds and still can be dispelled. I'm not quite sure why it can still be dispelled if it's really not that useful in terms of like procs, but you know, Ice Barrier is actually the best overall, so Alter Time really isn't even a factor anymore because it's just not that good. Number 1. And last but not least, the final change of this video is the fact that Deep Freeze now breaks on damage, and this is a really big controversial topic about Frost Mages and Warlords of Draenor because, you know, Frost Mages damage kind of revolves around Deep Freeze, and Deep Freeze now breaking on damage. So for example, if I just Deep Freeze this guy and then Ice Lance him, it breaks the Ice Lance, and you can no longer, you know, just spam Ice Lances into him. You have to utilize your procs, which in my opinion takes a lot of the consistency out of Frost Mages. You kind of had to work around Deep Freeze to be able to get your damage out, but now you kind of have to work around Frozen Orb to get your damage out because you can't use Deep Freeze anymore, which takes the amount of damage you can do at a really high amount of damage from 30 seconds up to 1 minute. So in my opinion, I don't really like that change, but I'm sure that there's plenty of reasons for it, so I'll stand behind, you know, whatever change that happens in terms of big expansions, because Frost Mages can still get out a big amount of damage, so it's really not a big deal. that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and by the way, if you would like to subscribe to my channel for future videos, I'll be doing plenty more tutorials on Warlords of Draenor Frostmage, so I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel to see those videos. And also, if you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a like down below and a comment of what you think of the changes. I'm really interested to hear what the community has to say about all these changes. So until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cartoons out.